Committee resumes, and I'm going to turn to the ranking member, Senator Grassley. 5 minutes. Go.
Thank you. Judge Garland, when I talked to you on the phone, I said I was going to give you a binder. I'm not going to ask you to come up and give it, and I'm not going to take it down to you, but I'll have my staff give it to you, of letters going back to the last 2 years of the Trump administration that haven't been answered by the department, and also maybe just a very few letters of the recent administration. So I hope that you will do what you can to get those answers, so 6 months from now, I don't blame you. It's the fact that the Trump people didn't answer it.
I would like to keep the blame on my predecessor. Okay. Yes, Senator.
Thank you. And then I'm going to say something about your answering questions for us. And this goes back now that I'm ranking member. I want to give you a quote that I said to Senator Sessions when he was sitting where you are. And if Senator Feinstein contacts you, do not use this excuse, as so many people use, that if you are not a chairman of a committee, you do not have to answer the questions. I want her questions answered just like you would answer mine. So I hope that whether I'm ranking member or chairman of the committee, you will help me get answers to the questions, and I hope Senator Durbin will do the same thing.
I will not use any excuse to not answer your question, Senator.
And then the other thing is, I don't want to dwell on Durham, but several people have asked you, and you've given the same answer, and I understand why you give that answer, but would it be impossible for you to have some sort of a briefing on Durham between now and the time you get our written answers back, so you could give us a more definitive answer?
So I don't think it's appropriate. I mean, I assume, among other things, that the Durham investigation...
I'll accept your answer.
Okay.
You don't need to go any further.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's go to a subject of domestic terrorism. And that, obviously in a democracy, we need to be able to disagree with each other without violence. Political extremism, the willingness to use violence to advocate one's political views on either side, is a threat to our democracy. The Capitol attack shows us that very directly. I think you've answered this question, and so just a very short answer. I think you've assured all of us that the Justice Department has all the necessary resources to investigate and prosecute all cases connected to the attack on the United States Capitol.
I can't yet say we have all the resources. What I said was I would look into the question of whether I just don't know. Okay. But we certainly have authorities to look into it. Whether we have the money and the person power, I just don't know yet.
Okay. Then likewise, in the previous year, there have been numerous attacks, not only on other institutions of the government like the White House and the federal courthouse in Portland, but on hundreds, if not thousands, of police officers who were injured, as well as on fellow citizens and their businesses, particularly small businesses. The Justice Department opened over 300 domestic terrorism cases due to that violence, and started an anti-government extremism task force. So I hope you could commit, absolutely as you did for the Capitol rioters, that you will see those investigations of the 2020 riots and continuing Antifa riots in the Pacific Northwest through to the very end.
The Justice Department, I think Director Ray said it exactly right, which is we investigate violence. We don't care about ideology. Okay. If there are investigations going on like those, then of course they're going to continue.
Okay. And then taking off a little bit what you referred to what the FBI said, former Attorney General Barr noted that the FBI, while it had robust programs for white supremacism and militia extremism, lacked a similar infrastructure for anarchist extremism cases. Former acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Wolf stated that this may have contributed to law enforcement being blindsided by the civil unrest that began in 2020. So I hope that I can get you to say that you'd be willing to review your anarchist extremism program for weaknesses and fixing those weaknesses based upon what Barr said, that the FBI said that they had better programs to go after white supremacy than they did other anarchist extremism.
I think we need to go after violence from whatever direction, left, right, up, down. It doesn't make any difference. We need to go after that. I think what Director Wray had said was what he was most concerned about was the rise of white supremacist extremism as an element of domestic terrorism. But it doesn't matter what direction it comes from. It doesn't matter what the ideology is. We have to investigate it.
I guess my time's up. Huh? I'm going to have a lot of questions for answer in writing.
Fair enough.